First off, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has taken their time out on a Tuesday evening, wherever you may be, to listen to Trey's presentation on his story on being a dual career agent. Now, given the title of dual career agent, hopefully, if you're not a dual career agent or you're not yet an agent and maybe aren't going to be dual career, that you'll be able to take something from this and apply it to your business, your life, and help you to grow your career to where you want it to be. And if you are working multiple jobs, Trey will be the person to tell you in his experience of how he did it and what made him successful. And with that, I'll let Trey continue on with his story, and welcome, Trey.
Hey, welcome everybody. Hello.
Hello.
I know everybody's
Good
at home.
evening.
It's an evening time.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Trey.
Hey.
Hey.
There you go. All right. So I'm excited. I'm excited to spend this time with all of you. I'm not sure if everybody is dual career or not. But first, I wanted to find out in this group, is there any healthcare providers, nurses, doctors? Okay, Toby, I see your hand up. Anybody else?
I am. This
Yes.
is Tish.
Okay, well, first, I wanted to give us our support for being on the front lines of this COVID, and I appreciate all that you do. So I wanted to recognize all of you and just thank you for your services and everything that you've done for everybody out there. So thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. All right, so let me ask you a question. How many are dual careers and their goal is to transition from their careers into real estate full time? Put your
Me.
hands up.
Oh,
Okay. All right, good. And there's a couple of people. Now, how many people wanted to try out real estate just to try out because you watched HGTV and thought it was cool and it was like, oh, that looks fun, make a lot of money really quick, and you just wanted to try out? Okay, so I think we have everybody in the right spot here. So a little bit about me. So when I started real estate in 2010, I had two full-time jobs. Okay, so I worked for an account manager for a waste service company as an account manager, and then in the evenings and most of the weekend, I worked at a gun store as a firearms and salesperson. And I never had any time. It was back and forth. When I got off one job, I went to the other job. So I decided to get my license because of my mother. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. My mother decided to watch one of those the infomercial late night shows while she was up one night, and you know they sometimes have the get rich quick kind of investing, right? That they show at night. So she watches that, orders the kit, and she calls me and says, "Hey, I want us to have our own real estate company." All right, hold on, someone's on mute. I don't know who that is, Dave. That's
Yeah, I
not on
know.
mute. And so she called me up the next day and said, "Hey, I want us to start investing in real estate properties to build our wealth." And I said, "That's a great idea." So what happened was I started working with agents, and we were looking for rental properties. We bought five investment properties, but do you know how many agents I fired? Four of them. Almost five. One was okay, but four of them. And my mother came up to me one day. She says, "You keep firing the agent." I said, "Well, their service is not good. They don't negotiate the right way." And she said to me, "Then go get your license yourself then and do it yourself." And then that's when the light bulb hit. Oh, let me go get my license and do it myself. And so when I went to school, again, it was hard. I was going in the evenings, nighttime, going to classes, got my license, and the fun began. This was the fun. I went to, I'm not going to name companies, but I went to the first real estate company, met with the manager there, sat down, told him, "This is what I want to do. I have these jobs." And he laughed and says, "You will never be successful in this business." So went to another company, same thing. They looked at me. It says, you have jobs, not one job, two jobs. Most agents are full-time, can't even be successful in this business. How are you going to do it? And they would not sign me up. Okay. So at this time, I was discouraged. I was very, very discouraged, very heartbroken because no one would give me the opportunity that I knew I could do. So a lender contacted a team leader from Keller Williams, and she was calling me every day. At this point, I was ignoring everybody. I was so discouraged, didn't want to do anything. So this time, she scheduled an appointment with me, and I was on a mission. I was on a mission. Okay. I walked in with a full suit, tie, walked through the door, met with her, sat down, and before she could even say anything, I put out my business plan. I put out my marketing plan. I put out the logo for my team, and I told her that I'm gonna be the #1 agent in 2 years in your market center. And then she says, "But you have two jobs." And I said, "Watch what I can do." Because at this point, I was on a mission to show people that it doesn't matter what job you have, as long as you believe in yourself and you take the identity, you can do anything. So that's basically what I did. And so I signed up, sorry about that. I signed up with Keller Williams in August 2010, got my license finalized in September. And so not only did at that end of the year, by December of the end of the year of 2010, did I cap in 3 months, I became the rookie of the year of the whole board of association in 3 months with two jobs that all agents full-time had a whole year to do. And then I was asked to be on the Agent Leadership Council within that first year. So this is the thing. Within that year, I replaced both jobs. In 1 year with two jobs, I replaced both of those incomes. Okay. And within my second year, I was selling over $10 million in real estate. Now I know I know the question is how, right? How did you do it? Can I ask you a question? How do you know that you can't do it? I'm gonna ask each one of you, who told you that you can't do it?
I was always told that I can do it because I have the
Good.
customer service skills. And luckily, well, I'm unlucky now that I'm the nephew of somebody who's very much known in real estate, and I wish I had his experience that I could lean from. But the nice part about it is my dad, who is his brother, has great experience. As I sit here and work on the course, oh, sorry, as I sit here and work on the course, there's stuff that I don't understand. This house I'm in right now was my first house I ever bought, and there's things I still don't understand. And I have a great resource to lean on. I have my dad. I've been emailing Dave questions, but the one thing that I have learned about this is you got to be afraid not to ask the question.
Mhm.
And if there's not a question that I can answer, I have other agents I can call. I have Dave I can call. I have plenty of resources. And I've always learned that in the past 25 years of me working, that this type of job, you need customer service skills. And that's all I've done, no matter what kind of job I have, is customer service skills, because you're going to bring the people in, because you can be honest with them, because you can talk to them, and because you can show that if you cannot find the answer, that you have the type of resources at your disposal, so we can get them the best deal or the best deal, whether they're selling or buying.
Good. That's great. So this is the thing. There's a difference between a full-time and part-time agent. I tell Dave this all the time. A full-time agent are trying so hard to find people to be around. They're trying to get out there and find people, prospect, lead generate. Dual careers, you're around people every day, defaulted. You're around people all the time. You don't have to try to find people. Every time you go to work, every day, you're around people. You're around associates. You're around people that's around you. Whoever that you're talking to, you're around people every day. It's all about the conversations that you have and the lack of confidence to have those conversations. And so this is the thing. In my story, I'm gonna tell you, is the biggest thing was I started talking to people, and not only that, I gave them value, and I made them believe that I was the best real estate agent, even though I was brand new. And like Adam said, to surround yourself with people with questions, I went and I looked up the number one agent in my area, number one agent, and she's always in the top 10 in all of the company. And I gave her a call one day and I introduced myself. Hey, I'm Trey Scott, new agent, just joined this company. And I'm gonna tell you, in about a couple of years, I'm gonna outbeat you. And she was like, what? And I said, I'm gonna watch what you do, I'm gonna do what you do, and guess what? You're gonna remember my name. And I told her that. And then I went to the number one agent in my company and on my office, and I went to her and says, hey, I want to shadow you. And she says, well, I'm not letting people shadow me. Okay, I want to shadow you. Do you know, every week I was calling her saying, I want to shadow you. I want to learn from you. I was asking her questions until she just got so tired of me contacting her. She says, come on, let me show you what I do. This is the thing. You have people around you that are successful, people around you that is doing what you want to do. Why not just ask them and they will show you? They would tell you. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to tell you what I did to be successful, even with jobs. But a lot of times, because we have a job, we feel like we're separated from the full-time agents or the office, and we're here by ourselves. And that is not the case. The more that you engage, the more that you connect with people, the more that you will learn the success plan that you need. Okay. Now, I'm gonna ask this question. How many of you have a business plan right now? How many people have a business plan? Okay, Adam. Okay, great. You kind of. All right. Now here's a question for you. This is, I have Vicky saying she's working on it. This is the thing. When I went to my first family reunion, and I went to one of the top agents um, at that time in the whole country, and I went to him and I says, what can you tell me? Give me one tip that made you successful. And he says, I have a plan that I go by. And I said, great, I have a business plan. And he says, no, I have a growth plan. And I didn't even know what a growth plan was at that time. No one's ever mentioned a growth plan. And he says, if you're not growing yourself, if you are your business, all of you are your business. If you are not growing yourself, then your business will not grow. So how many books are you reading? How many trainings are you attending? How are you working on yourself? If you want to be a top agent in the market, are you developing yourself internally to be the top agent in the market? Now, I know the first thing we're going to say is, well, I have a job, I'm too busy. So let's talk about your job. I want to talk about the job. You wake up early in the morning, even when you don't feel like it, right? I know a lot of you don't feel like getting up in the morning, taking that drive, showing up at work, or working at home nowadays. You work 40 hours, long hours, work hard, and someone tells you what your value is, and they pay you what they believe you're worth. Is that the case?
Yes.
That is the case, right? That's your job. Now, why do you do that? Do you know why you wake up and you get to work even when you don't feel like it, and you put in that work and you go home when someone says clock out? Is because you have a boss or manager that holds you accountable.
I have a boss that holds me accountable, but one part of my pay is composition, and I get back what I put into it.
Correct. You get back what you put into it, but you're still capped to what they believe your value is.
Yep.
Meaning you can work harder and harder, but if they say this is how much you're going to get paid, they may give you a raise next year, maybe 1-2%. But that's all that they cap you at, your value and your hard work. And I know that every one of you is worth more than probably what you get paid, and then some, if you look at yourself. Is that correct? And I know everybody's going to be like, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And I see some tired faces that looks like some people just got off work or just got done working. And you're like, yes. So how are we going to make this change? And I'm going to commit with all of you on here that we're going to make these change and hit these goals. So how are we going to make these change? The first thing is know your schedule, know how much time. And I want everybody to start writing this down. Know how much time that you can time block. Okay. I know you hear time block all the time. You're like time block, time management, time. But guess what? You have limited time. And when I say time block, that means you're protecting that limited time towards real estate. Now, I'm going to tell you, during the evenings, I have 1 to 2 hours during the week to focus on real estate. And then I did my 3 hours or 4 hours on a Sunday for open house. And that's all the time that I had. But guess what? When I had those times, I had my priorities and I went full force 2 hours harder than I did in the 8 hours I worked at my job. You know why? Because that is your financial freedom. I want everybody to write down financial freedom. I'm
Hey,
good
Trey,
if you believe. Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
Going to ask a question about time, because what I've learned for the people that I've talked with, the best time to manage your time is, 4 p.m. and after and weekends, because you got to work your time around people's work schedules. So what I've done so far as I'm doing my training and getting my plan together is, I pick up my kids at 3 o'clock from school, and then when I drop them home at 3:30 for the rest of the night and for the weekend, that's my real estate time, because I want to capture the market and work with the people on their schedules so I can help them out faster and better.
Correct. That is correct. I know that we have this myth that, you only can lead gen or prospect during the day in the mornings. Well, I'm going to tell you, I coached a group in the morning and I coached the group in the evening. And guess who got more results? The ones in the evening. Because, all right, everybody or most people are dual careers. When you are trying to get to work or you're rushing and it's the morning, do you feel like being bothered by anybody else outside of that? You just push yourself to get up and do what you have to do to get ready for work, right? But when you get home and you have your downtime, that's when you're thinking of other things. Look, someone said morning are awful, Carolee. So the thing is that you have to think the way they think. You're all in the same similar situation as them. You know the time that works best for you, and most likely that same time will work best for them. The key is time blocking it. How many people have children? I got a couple of hands up. Okay. So I know that you have additional routines, kids' activities, well, less now, dinners, homeworks, the rest of that stuff, right? You don't have to do 2 hours together. You could do 1 hour. There's times when I did 1 hour of contacting people during lunch, or 1 hour while the kids were doing homework. And then I'll do another hour after that. But this is the thing. I have a question. If I hired every one of you and I said, I will pay you $100,000 and all you had to do was work 2 to 3 hours a day, would you take that job?
Depends on the terms of the job.
but that is your job. That is real estate. That is real estate. If you consistently work those 2-3 hours a day, you can make that much money or more from real estate. Because one house, and I know people are in different areas and price ranges, but one person, one sale for you a month is what? What's the average commission would that be just for one person?
I believe the average, I think, is around 6%.
So one
Yeah.
person.
So a house that's
So like $2,500.
$1,000.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. And I got 3,500 that Carolee said, 3,500, 2,500, right? How many hours would you have to work to make 3,500, 2,500 at your job? That week, 40 hours? One
That
person.
for me, that's a whole month.
That's a whole month. And I have a lot of people saying 1 month. This is the thing. It's not about how much time. It's not about the limit of time. It's about the time you do and how many people you can talk to. Because if you get one person a month, would that change your life? Just one deal. And I have a lot of people shaking their head. One person. Now, how many people are you around? How many people do you know? Who do you work with? Who do you see all the time and talk to? And Vicky, I see you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a lot of time out. I work a regular full-time 40, 50-hour a week job, but the beauty is I am around people. So this week I've talked to about real estate specifically about 15 people already this week, and giving out my business card and doing those things. So I know that as long as I'm continuing to talk, that the word will get out and so forth. But if I didn't talk while I was at work, I would be in big trouble.
Correct. And what I started doing is I would ask my associates, I would say, hey, let's take lunch together, or let's get coffee together before. And I would start talking to the people that were around me at my job. And it was funny because I'll tell you a story. So at my waste company job, the manager, the director called me in his office, and I'm scared because I'm like, okay, he found out I'm talking to people at the job, and he knows I got my license. I'm in trouble. I'm going to get fired, right? Because I was taking on a lot of people and talking about it. And he came in, and the first thing he said was, "Why haven't you spoken to me about this?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't know the line." He's like, "No, why haven't you asked me if I was looking to buy or sell a house?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I was just trying to keep the line because I was scared that I would get in trouble." And he's like, "Do you understand? You're giving a benefit to our employees." And it hit me. I'm saying, I'm giving them a benefit. He says, "Yeah. So do me a favor. Why don't you come up with a buyer and seller program that we can hand out to our employees as a benefit for our company?" And I was like, huh, that's a great idea. So what I do, I call the lender, call the home inspector, I call all these people and say, what discounts can you give to anybody from my company that buys or sell a house? And they put it all down. I made a flyer, I present it to them. And guess what? The company says, thank you for creating another employee benefit package for helping our employees. Did
And
y'all
how
hear
many,
what I just said?
yeah, and how many companies actually have a real estate benefit package?
They
No.
don't, but I love it.
There you go. Did y'all hear my golden nugget? Now,
One thing that I like, especially due to the fact that I'm just learning about it, is I'm a licensed barber in the state of Michigan. I stepped I'm off, I got laid off, I got let go from my job due to COVID. So I stepped up when people were saying, how can I get my haircut? How can I get my haircut? Everything's shut down. Now I have 5 people in line, in which 2 of them are 2 Grand Valley State University people who are about to graduate within the next year, who want me to help them understand real estate and, help them find their first house. I have a neighbor who says right now I live on the outside of a trailer park, and he said, you know what, kind of want to get out of here too. He's like, I own the house, I rent a lot. He's like, when you get your license, see if you can help me find a house around the same monthly price that my lot rent is. So right now,
good.
just changing careers and stepping up and doing something that I already know how to do. I mean, I got 5 prospects right now, and they're not in any big hurry. They're waiting on me because I stepped up. I didn't remember the lady's name who just spoke up, but yeah, she said that she was talking with people at work, and you and your benefits package. It's nice
Exactly.
to it's nice to I'm glad I was in the Army for 7 years, because before that I just kind of sit back and wait. Now it's just like, guys, where do you have a house at? What kind of house do you have? You looking?
Good,
Kind of
good.
thing.
That's great.
Okay.
So I saw some questions popped up, and one of them was, what did I name it? I named it whatever my company was. So if your company is Charles Jackson's, home buying or home selling program, or Charles Jackson's real estate program, I named it whatever the company was, because then it feels like it's coming from the company. So whatever your company is, you're a partner in that program. So this is what you do. I want everybody to write this down. Okay. If you want to get business from your job, and I know we have conversations, we talk to people, that's great. But if you really, really want to get it out there, then design a program for your companies. Design a program that they want. And definitely during this time, they would love to give more benefits to their employees. Do you think that they will want to help more people out right now? Think about that.
That's right.
Yes.
Hey, I work for a large corporation, and we have a strict no solicitation policy. And on top of that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a leader, in my department, and I know I need to lead
Mm-hmm.
by example and not hand out business cards and things like that.
Correct.
What recommendations would you have for someone in my position?
And that's why, Keon, exactly the reason why I said to go to HR and say, look, I just want to let you know I have my license. I would like to create a program for our employees for a benefit to them, to help them in their home buying and selling, so that you're giving a partnership to your company, allowing them to create a benefit for those employees. You're right. You can't just go around and solicit cards. But the thing is that I didn't know there's a lack of that type of benefit with companies. Some companies have relocation companies. That's the only time that really they get into real estate, is if they have relocation and people are moving and they have to help their leaders or their employees or executives find homes. But not many companies have in their benefit packages where they can also help their employees save money or help them find a home. So Keon, do it that way, because again, I've had people from big corporations, the same thing, no soliciting, you can't. But when you approach your executives this way and say, hey, I know the rules, but I want to show you, present to you how we can provide this benefit to our employees, because this makes your company looks good. The more benefits that they can give to their employees, the more value that a company has to also bring in more employees, to bring in that value. And so, Keon, do you think that you can put something together and say, hey, I know that you don't have a license, I haven't been soliciting, I haven't been talking to people, but I want to partner up and show you what we can give back to our employees during this time? Do you think that's something that you can have a conversation about?
It's possible. The corporation has about 30,000 employees. I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one with a license right now. I did take the step to reach out to our HR department to figure out what I can do, because of my position, I don't want to lose my job. And they told me, how far I can go. If someone asks me a question about real estate, I'm free to talk about real estate and what I did over the weekend. However, I can't hand out a business card. I can't talk about business. I have to do it during my lunch hour or after hours, things like that. So, but I haven't taken that approach of going directly to HR and talk about a benefit package. But I'm not a negative person at all. I don't see that happening. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I don't see them
Okay.
approving that. Just because I'm in healthcare, and it's we have a ton of clinics. We have probably like 12, 15 hospitals, something like that. I just don't see them approving that just for little old Keon in the little area that I'm at. So
Okay.
Keon?
So this is the thing. Oh, go ahead. Who was going to talk for Keon?
I was going to say, can you possibly see about setting up like an information booth or some type of event or sponsorship in your company from your real estate company? Like sometimes different corporations, they sponsor sports and different maybe special needs activities in the community or something like that. But even if it's off the quote unquote legal campus of your employment, doing a booth or something like that where you can hand out buyer and seller guides or information and things like that. That might be a way that you can reach your particular employees and employers at your job.
Right.
So Kian, and I hear you and I completely understand you. Okay. This is the thing. I know you're focused on you. Now I know that you are part of a company or brokerage, correct?
Yes, I am. KW.
Okay. So here's a question. If you present that and they don't want you to be so much involved, could that be referral business for you then?
Yeah, it could be.
Would you like to collect a check for doing nothing but connecting them to somebody else? I just want to know.
I like collecting a check for doing nothing.
Because that's one of the things I want to talk about with dual careers. If you don't have time, I love getting a check that I don't work for. I don't know about you, because again, you are all around people. So you may not have time, but you have contacts around you, agents that would service them and pay you a percentage of their commission just for you calling them and connecting them. That is called a referral business. And I have agents that does nothing but do that, and they're at almost 6 figures on nothing but referral business from their job and their lives regularly because they don't have as much time to service people. So Kian, I want you to still put that plan together of that program. And again, if it's a question about you and your time and you being involved, you have people around you that you could build a team of agents and they will service and you can still get a percentage of that commission. Does that work?
Yes, it does.
There's 2 things. You have a program and then you have a referral business. All of you talk to people, all of you connect with people. I hear you don't have time, you don't have time. How long does it take to make a phone call or to give someone a name and number? It doesn't take that long.
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I have time, I need people. So she has time, she needs people. So this is the question. When you say, and I don't know who that was, Dave, who said I have time and I need people in a question. I don't know if she can jump up or speak up. I don't know who that was. Someone said
That was
I
me.
have
Thank
time.
you, guys.
Yeah, there she is.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
I don't have a large sphere. I don't have any family here. I moved here from Chicago and before that from Europe, so I don't have a large sphere, large large group of people. And so it's hard for me to get the super new contacts. I do have some people in the pipeline. I am working with a few buyers. I need more. Like I need more. I need to feed my database, and
Okay.
I'm being a little impatient about that.
I completely understand the impatience of building your database. So let me ask you a question. What are you a part of? Let's start with social media. How many social media groups in your area are you a part of?
I would say about 5.
Okay, so 5. So how many people, just an estimate that you have in those groups?
It's got to be quite a bit, about 1,000 probably.
Okay, so right there you have about 1,000 that's on your social media database and your groups. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's about correct.
How many friends do you have? Let's take Facebook.
I have a lot, but they're all far.
Oh, I love FAR because I just said I would love to get a check that I don't even have to work with
Me
just to
too.
connect them. So this is the question. You came from Chicago, so you have friends and family in Chicago. Is that correct?
Not family. I have friends and of course past clients. I used to bartend, so.
Okay. We have a lot of great agents in Chicago. So you can focus on still building your relationships in Chicago, your sphere of influence here, where you are. You can go through social media. You can keep adding people and being a part of groups and organizations and build it. I had one agent that came to Virginia, just moved there. She didn't know anybody, and she specialized in military because she was a veteran. So she decided to do nothing but specialize working with military. And she hit up those groups, those organizations, And by her first year, I believe she did about 130,000 GCI in her first year, because she purposely went for groups and kept adding people, adding people, adding people. Now, hopefully all of you have interests, hobbies, things that you, I don't know if it's sewing, if it's sports, but you have ways to connect with people. Is that correct?
I have a great resource for people to use if anybody wants to call me or email me. She helped me put a page together for my barbering, in which I live in Coopersville and I use it all around Coopersville because they have a lot of things like Coopersville informed, Allendale informed, Ravenna informed. And as I put my groups out there, I'm also part of the VFW and I'm an admin for that. So as I put my page out, people are sharing my page. I have people coming from Greenville, Kent City, Whitehall, Kalamazoo coming up because, you know, I stepped up, and as much as I hate to say it, defied the governor to help out. And people are checking that out. And even though she's my ex-wife, she does business marketing on social media. She helped me build my page on Facebook. And when I'm ready to sit down with her, she's going to help me build it on LinkedIn, Twitter, any type of social media. And I can give you guys, you know, her information. So if you don't understand how to do it, I can give you her information, have you call her, have you email her, so she can help you set up to be successful. I didn't think I'd be successful as I have been the last 6 months, you know, helping out. But you know, I got 100 people from around Michigan that are part of my group, and when they're down in the Grand Rapids area, they call me. Do you have time for a haircut?
Great, that's great. So this is the thing. Since COVID, unfortunately, the increase of social media went up to about 180%. People that wasn't on social media are now on social media because they have nothing else to do but be on social media. In fact, I see people smiling because, so I know some of y'all probably popped on social media too, because you have nothing else to do but be on social media now. That's where the entertaining is. That is where the communication is. That is where you can laugh, smile, conflict, whatever you want is all on social media. So if you do not have all the social media, you know, sources, you know, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you should have that, because that is where everybody is. Now, let me ask you a question. I remember when I started, I was door knocking. Two things: door knocking, open houses. I know open houses take three hours, and I was hoping that 20 people came through. Door knocking, that could take all day, knocking on 100 doors. Do you know how many doors you can knock on social media and Facebook and communicate and connect with people, and how much time it takes? It literally, go ahead, Dave.
Sorry. I was going to say, you can, on Facebook alone, you can connect with so many people. They have a new feature now which allows you to boost your post when you
Question
do
about social media.
Yes, who's that?
My name's Edwin. I have a question about social media. So the thing
Yes.
is that I have quite a few people on social media, but they are not, for instance, if I post regularly, they're either not responding, like, you know, doing the call to action, or the people that do respond are not qualified at the moment, like they don't have the credit score, whatever, what have you. So then what do you do in that case?
Okay, so I always remember that there's two types of buyers and sellers. They are, one, you do business with them. Two, you get business from them, meaning they all have Spear, they all have people they know. So yes, that person may not be able to get qualified right now, but they have people that may be able to qualify in that time being. We always looking for instant results. We want now business. That we forget the relationships you build. It's not just to do business with them, it's also to get business from them. The interaction part, you have to look at what you're posting. What is it that you're posting? What is it that you're trying to say? Is it just business? Are they getting to know you? That means, are you building a relationship with them? Are you letting them come and get to know you as a person, so they could say, oh, this is a great mom, or look, he's a barber. He cuts hair. He does all this. So the question is are you an undercover agent on social media? Who are undercover agents on social media? I know I got a couple. Adam, I know there's a couple undercover agents on social media where it's two things. Either you're an influencer or you're an observer. There's a difference. You're either influencing the relationships or you're just observing other relationships. You just go look at pages and you're liking, making comments, liking. Now, what if it was turned around? What if everybody right now went on your social media, let's say Facebook, and you post something inspirational, especially during a time of need right now? It could be a quote that you found somewhere or something that you remembered that was said. But what if you just posted something inspirational? Do you think that you will get likes and comments? The difference is the observer will look at the likes and comments and say, oh, look at all the likes I got. Look at all the loves. Look at the comments. The influencer would communicate with every like, every comment and say, hey, thank you for liking this inspirational quote. How can I help you today? How are you doing right now? Not, hey, are you looking to buy and sell a real estate? So this is what I want to talk about. Let's look at service before self. Let's look at service before transactions. Let's look at the world we're in right now. Do you think that there's a lot of people that needs conversation right now?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a lot of people that would love to have someone reach out and just say, how are you and your family doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the point. Right now is not the time that you have to go and sell. Right now is the time that you can care, and get the same type of business. The same type of business. You know, I sent a text message to someone. I'll choose people and I'll send text message. Hey, I was just thinking about you. And you're in my, and I don't know if I'm spiritual, but you're in my prayers and I just want to check on you. That person called me right away and started crying. Said, I needed that. How many people have heard of the Ford script? I know some of the Keller Williams agents know it. Okay. That Ford script is what? It's family, occupation, recreation, dreams. That means you're having conversations and you're asking about their family. You're asking about their occupation. How's work doing? How's your wife? Is she still working? How's your business? You're asking about, hey, during this time, are you getting out? Are y'all planning something? What are y'all doing to have fun? And then the last one, and this is big right now. What are your goals? What are your dreams? 2021's coming, and what does people think about? They think about New Year resolutions, right? Now, there's going to be a lot of people writing New Year resolutions for 2021. There's going to be a lot of traveling on that list. But this is the thing. If you called someone, if I called every single one of you right now, and I'll start with Toby Jenkins. I see you up there. And I said, Toby, I was just thinking about you. And first I wanted to see how your family was doing. Okay. And I asked about her family. If she has kids, how her husband. And then I'm saying, hey, I know that you're a nurse, you're in healthcare. I know it's been tough. How's that going for you? And I listened to her about her job and her work. Now, usually they always reciprocate and ask you about your job, your work. And that's when you can talk about real estate, right? But then I ask her, so what are you doing to get out? I mean, I just walk outside and then I'll be happy just to get to a park or go look at the lake, right? And we talk about that. And then the last one is, Toby, I know, this has been a tough year. Do you have any goals, especially real estate goals next year that I can help you with? And if it's not next year, it could be 2-3 years from now. But you know what? I want to help your family out. I want to at least achieve one of your goals for you and your family. And if it's buying or selling a home, and if I can make that dream come true, can I have the honor of doing that for you? Now, how do you feel about that, Toby?
I wish you would have called me a long time ago. That's the truth. I mean, I haven't had anybody ask me how I'm doing as a nurse.
Well, and to take that one step further, Toby, you aren't going to buy anything or sell anything for 2 years. But what happens when you talk to somebody 2 weeks from now who is interested in buying or selling a house? Who's the first name you're going to think of?
It would be him. And I've bought and sold both. Like, so, and I've not always been happy with my transaction person in charge. So I definitely think you go back to who you know, or you would go to the one who cares.
Or who cares? This. See, everybody right now is posting and talking to people, buy or sell, use me, use me. But I know Toby, when she's ready, she's going to contact me. I know when she hears someone, she's going to have them contact me. You know why? Because I touched her here. I didn't touch her just here. If you touch people here and you just want to be on their front of their mind all the time, with everything going on, you'll be on their mind for about 2 days and you're gone. But if you touch them here in their heart, that you care about them and their family, that is the everlasting relationship that each one of you can build. And I know every single one of you can have these conversations because I know that you want to have these conversations with people. I know that you all can do it. And I wish I can call every single one of you and have these conversations with all of you. Because I know some of y'all need that conversation as well. Is that correct?
Definitely.
So my dual careers, be life changers, be impact influencers, have conversation that touches people and make them say, I want to work with that person when I'm ready, if I'm not right now. Be the person that makes someone smile. I love making people smile. If I have a conversation with you, you better believe by the time we get off the phone, you're either going to smile or laugh or be on the floor, one of those things. Because this is what makes people remember you. And this is what all of you can do. Stop thinking that you have to be, full time, I have to have time. No, you just have to have the right conversations during the time that you have. And you have to use the valuable things that are around you, like your home buying program, or like anything else that you can do to get in front of people. But right now, touch people, care for people. You probably have friends and family right now that you haven't spoken to in a while. You probably have people in your phone that you haven't reached out in a while. You have people on social media that are crying out, want some type of interaction, and sometimes they get the wrong one because they're crying out for some interaction. You should be there. And I know all of you can do that. If we weren't on this call right now for this last hour, you could be contacting people and be on social media right now and having great conversations. I don't want you to lead generate. I want you to have great conversations. There's a difference.
Can I ask you a question?
You see the difference?
Trey?
Yes, Adam.
When I get my license, I'm going to be a new realtor. How bad would it be for me to try to take on a part-time job in the morning from like 8 to noon or 8 to 1 to help supplement some income until I can really get the ball rolling to be a 100% realtor?
Okay. Is that because you have limited income now to sustain being full-time? Okay. So here's the question. How quick can you find one person to sell a house? Can you do it in the next 30 days?
Yeah.
Or buy a house?
Yes.
Yes, you can. And how much would that check be for you? Probably you said 1 month's worth. I remember you commented that would be 1 month's worth, right? So would you rather work a part-time job for 2 months or find one person and do it in that short period of time to make the same money?
I'd rather do the second choice.
There you go. Remember, if you give 30% of effort, you'll make 30% of money. But if you give your 100% in that 2 hours, you will make more money than you will at your job.
I do have to go, Trey, but can I say one thing for some of the people who are dual income and how you mentioned, putting a packet together?
Okay.
For the people that want to try that and they're too scared to go to their HR, there's one thing I learned, and I had a procedure on my heart. I had one of the best NCOs when I was in the military. When I had my procedure on my heart, I talked with my wife, but my dad didn't know how scared I was. My brother didn't know how scared I was. I hopped on my phone and I messaged Sergeant Bridges to let him know how scared I was. He was the one person outside my family that I knew I could tell. And there's one thing he told me, and it's kind of blunt, but for the people who are scared, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Only a stupid person afraid to ask the question. Worst thing they can do is say no.
Good.
Hopefully,
Thank you, Adam, for that.
hopefully people think about that.
Thank you, Adam, for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Trey. You guys
All
have
right.
a wonderful day.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Bye.
Is it Yamurka? I want to say it right. I want to say your name right.
You did. You did a good job.
Okay. I saw you had a question about negative thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know that negative thoughts is not real?
I know they're in here.
Exactly. So fear is going to create negative thoughts because your brain is trying to protect you. That's what fear does. Okay. So let me ask you a question. If I told you right now that no matter what you do, you could not fail in this business. If I told you right now, if you go out there and you work it, you will not fail. You will not make mistakes. You will be successful. How do you feel about that?
Confident.
Confident.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you please tell yourself that every day? This is the thing. Your mind is going to believe whatever you think. Whatever you think of yourself, whatever think that you can't do, whatever you believe is going to happen, your mind is going to believe it because that's the conversation you're having with yourself. Now, I know all of you have jobs, and I know that some of you had to fight hard to get a job, or you got a job that you probably think you couldn't have, or the fact that you even have a job right now is more powerful than a lot of people that are losing their business and having jobs, right? So this is the thing. Every one of you have achieved something in your life because you went for it. You took the chance. And I see a lot of shaking heads. Even when you were scared, even when you didn't know what was going to happen, in life, at home, in your career, you all took a chance without thinking about it. And so I'm telling you, is take a chance. Don't think about it. Don't think about what's going to happen if I fail. Because guess what? In your life, you've already failed many times. We all have. And you still got up and you still kept going. Failure is part of life. So you shouldn't be scared of failure or mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. But the thing is give yourself a fair chance to succeed. The only difference between a successful agent and a non-successful agent is that they just do it. They take the chance and they just do it. I'm just going to go for it. How many times have y'all said that? I'm just going to go for it. I don't care. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to have faith. And I'm just going to go for it. Many times. That is life, everybody. So yes, you're going to have negative thoughts, but just remember, they're just thoughts. And all you got to do is change it up and say, I am successful. I am this. I am a millionaire, if you want to say it, whatever you want to say, but you got to trick your brain of believing in you. And I know that that's hard, especially during this time that people are having these conversations that may not be positive for themselves. Well, then I will challenge you every morning when you wake up. I want you to say positive affirmations to yourself, look in the mirror, write it down, say it the rest of the day. And if anything, just tell yourself that I love you and I believe you. If anything, tell yourself, I love you and I believe in you. Tell your brain that and see how that builds up your confidence, see what that does. And Keon, same thing. I want you to say, I can do it. I can walk in HR and I can present them and they're going to say yes and go for it. So before we get off, I want to answer any questions. So if you have questions, and we may be a little bit over because I want to answer everybody's questions, okay? What questions do you have for me? Give it to me. All you got to do is just unmute yourself and ask a question. Toby.
I knew you were going to do that. First of all, how can I find you on social media? Because I already looked and I cannot find you.
You can't find me under Trey Scott?
I could not. I found someone local, but it's not you.
Secret,
Can I have that?
Yeah. So my Facebook is Trey Scott. So what I'll do is there any way that I can get everybody's? I should. How about this? Everybody and message me and whatever that your Facebook or your Instagram name is, and I will friend request every single one of you.
Awesome.
That does that. Is that cool?
Yeah. I do have another question though.
Yes.
So like, I think this is just me because I'm kind of A-type and a perfectionist, but like switching from nursing to real estate, I can see how they will overlap. Like the things that I did at work, like I feel like this is a like totally different wavelength, but it's all about relationships. But I kind of feel like the people that know me, it might work for my benefit just because I'm very honest and I feel like I am a trustworthy person, which helps. And I do communicate well. However, I feel like they're going to be like, oh, she's a nurse. Oh, now she wants to do real estate. Or, oh, now like, it's like I'm all over the place or flighty. I mean, you know, but there were just circumstances and it's a life change and a choice and a personal journey. So like, I've been a little hesitant to kind of reach out to people because then they're like, well, why aren't you a nurse? Why aren't you doing nursing? And I said, well, I still am, but like, I'm kind of getting caught on that. Like, I feel like I don't know how to.
Okay. So I had that.
The sphere.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had that. I mean, I went from so many different jobs and people couldn't keep up with what job I had and what I was doing. And you know what I tell them? That's because I am building a portfolio for my wealth build and my financial freedom. So it's going to take more than one thing to do that. Yeah. So my job, that takes care of my stability, but my real estate is my financial freedom. This is what's going to build my legacy for my family. Yeah. And so this is the thing. I'm going to share this with you, and Dave knows this. So remember, I started with those jobs and I got into real estate. From then, I became the first productivity coach in my region and started coaching programs. And now I have coaching programs in multiple states. You know, I've been on leadership, I've been on ALC, but right now, as of this time, in 10 years, I own 8 different companies in real estate. I have 9 different passive incomes, and I'm now the regional owner for United Kingdom Keller Williams. Good. So wow. This is the thing. This is the thing. I could have focused on having that job, and I could still be working in that one job. And like everybody else, hey, I have a job, I'm making good money. But guess what? My goal was to build wealth, to build a business, to have a legacy for family, and to impact and change people's lives. That was my purpose. So the question is, do you know your purpose? Is your purpose just your job, or is that something that you do? What is your purpose? What is your big why? What do you want to have for you and your family and your future? That's the question that you have to think about. Do you know that the most multimillionaire, do you think they have one type of business? Or you think they have one job? No. They have investments, they have passive incomes, they have different companies. Why? Because that's what it takes. So Toby, when they ask you, why are you doing so many things? I'm building my wealth. I'm building my legacy. I'm building my success. And you'll see what happens in a couple of years, the road that I'm down. That's why you're doing it.
I also started a lawn care company prior to this. So I've got a lawn care business. Like I just, I don't know, but it's all been there's a reason. Like I already know it's all leading to something, but it is. I'm still on that journey. And I kind of feel like it's hard to, when you get in this, you think, oh, well, it's not even about the houses. It's just not, you know, it really, the reason is that I do want to help people. That's why I was a nurse, you know, those kind of things. So I've really been taking a lot of time, you know, Keller Williams, as much as I love them, like build your sphere, get in your database, do that. And I appreciate that, but it's kind of like, I've just been trying to figure out what kind of agent do I want to be. So it's odd that I'm in this tonight because I almost didn't, because I've been working less at the hospital because I was so stressed out and miserable and I couldn't deal with the anxiety. And I'm like living on a prayer, hoping I get a client. And if I don't, then there's a reason, you know? So it's just been so to hear you say the stuff you're saying, it's like a parallel universe to me. I'm like, this is exactly what I needed. So I really appreciate you doing this. Because
you could be any agent that you want. It's whatever your purpose is. You can go out and care for so many people like you do in the health profession. You can do that through real estate and still change and help people the same way and also build, you know, your success, your income through value. Because this is the thing, value plus people equals success.
Yep.
What is your value and what you do? That's where you'll have your success.
How do you
Okay,
help someone
thank you.
buy a house or sell a house and help give them self-empowerment and build, like, that's kind of where I think I'm going with all this. Like, it's about building the person and the family. And like, so I'm having a hard time making that connection. I know the relationships outside of that is probably where it's going to come into play, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of just put me on a, like, I haven't really wanted to approach anybody. You know what I mean?
Who do you want to become? That's the growth. When I said that develop you as a person, your growth, it's what type of agent do you want to be? What is your purpose out there? And once you know that, go for it. And that will bring you the success. That will also fulfill you in what you're doing. And that's the thing about jobs. There's not that much fulfillment.
No,
I mean, I love helping people, but when you are kind of bossed around to do certain things, and again, they say what your value is, there's no fulfillment there. But as your own business, you're all not just realtors, you're business owners. You all have real estate businesses. You're all owners. You can do whatever you want. You can change people's lives. You can be purposeful and put out there whatever you want. There's nothing holding you back but yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it goes back to an aha I picked up right from the get-go in the first 5-10 minutes, where you talked about continue to reach out to the people who do what you want. And and you did that. And I take that even further is, you reached out to people, you reached out to somebody and they said, no, I'm not doing that. And then you reached out a week later and no, I'm still not doing that. And and finally they gave in and let you shadow along. Well, it's the same concept in talking to people. Are you thinking about buying or selling a house, or do you know somebody who is? No, I'm not. Well, 2 weeks later, you call them back and you ask them again. And 2 weeks later, you ask them again. Eventually, they're going to think of somebody. It's the repetitive nature of doing a lot of things. It's like mailing out 100 postcards, just listed postcards in your neighborhood. How much business are you going to get out of it the first time you mail it? If you get one, it's probably pretty lucky. But if you do it every single month, eventually you're going to start getting some, because people will remember it because you keep asking. So it's a matter of keep asking for what you want, and going for the people who do what you want to do and want to become. Correct. How did they do it so that I can learn how to do it myself?
Correct. And this is the thing, I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't do it myself. When I chased down that #1 agent, she started mentoring me and she was like a coach to me. And when I took her in and she coached me and she hooked me up with the coach that she had, that's when my business doubled. That's when I went to over 230% when I left my jobs in that year, because I had someone that was coaching me. So if you don't have a coach or you don't have a mentor, you don't have someone to go to, it is so much easier to make it with a job if you have someone next to you that is holding you accountable, just like you do at work. I mean, that's how we show up, but hold you accountable and look at you and say, this is what will work for you. Just focus on this. Because as a new agent, I was all over the place. I was like, okay, I can do this, and this. And she sat me down and says, no, you don't need to do all this. You only need to do certain things that's going to work and focus on that. And she narrowed my focus on what I need to focus on and made my life better. So if you don't have a mentor or a coach, or if you're not with Dave or in your market center, your office with a coach, you should have someone there that will hold you to your goals and hold you to what you need to do. Okay. Because it is hard to do it yourself. I mean, if you think about it, athletes, professional athletes, they have coaches. Singers, artists, they have coaches. Even the president have advisors, coaches, they're called advisors. Everybody has someone there that is helping them through the process, not doing it by themselves. Do not be the Lone Ranger on the island and you're trying to do it by yourself. Okay, reach out to agents in your office, reach out to people here. A lot of y'all can match up with each other, say, hey, come on, let's be accountable for each other. Let's push each other. Don't do it by yourself. You don't have to. You really don't. Right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Dave's a coach.
No,
Any other questions?
you hit the
Oh, go
nail
ahead.
right on the head. It's accountability. It's we all can try to be accountable to ourselves, but are we really?
Yeah.
That's the hard part. I mean, it's so easy to say, I'll wait and do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and I'll do it this afternoon. Well, and this afternoon comes and it's getting too late. I'll do it on Monday, and tomorrow never comes. But if you have somebody, as simple as it may be, it doesn't have to be a major undertaking. It's just holding you accountable to something that you want to be held accountable for.
Correct. So if y'all don't have a mentor or coach, get one. That's the number one thing I'll say for dual careers. If you want to transition and get out of your job, the quicker is having someone help you do it. Don't try to figure it out. There's too many people out there that's willing to help you succeed. Let them do it. Let them do it. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Katie. I
No
see
questions, but so good. I've got pages of notes, so thank you.
You're welcome, Vicki.
Really good stuff.
Anybody else? I want to just make sure I give attention and time to anybody have questions or anything. I hope you took a lot of notes. And this is the thing. I want everybody to commit to one action. If it's, hey, I want to start looking at that program. Keon, I'm going to be watching you. Looking at that program. Or if it's, hey, I want to go ahead and do a post tomorrow. Something purposeful. Or if it's, hey, I want to start reaching out to people in other states and build up my referral. I want everybody to take one action, okay? So as an example, I'm going to call on people. So for instance, Keon, what's the one action that you're going to do in the next, let's say 48 hours?
I believe there's develop a strategy to take it to my HR.
All right, great. Are you in Dave's office, Marcus? No?
No, man,
Okay.
I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
All right, well, I'm gonna hold you accountable. So I'm gonna be reaching out to you to see that you've done that.
All right.
Who else? What's an action that someone's gonna take?
I'm gonna do my very first Instagram post.
There you go. There you go.
I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it.
Just do it. Just do it. And remember, it's two things. Either you entertain people, you educate people, or you touch them here. Those three things. You can't go wrong. Okay?
Gotcha.
So if you're scared, do something inspiring or do something funny. Everybody likes funny, right? Everybody likes to laugh nowadays. You got it. Who else? Someone else. I see referral network. Who else? Chris Hart. I called you out. Yes, I did. What's the one thing that you're going to do in the next 48 hours?
So I attended business planning with Gene Rivers. And one of the things he said was obviously when you're, not obviously, but when you're posting on social media, post things of value that people are going to say, I want to know more about that. Not necessarily, hey, look at me, I'm a realtor. Use me. So I think I'm going to start. And so I have a full-time job and I want to build a referral business.
Yes.
And so I think what I'm going to start doing is making Instagram or Facebook videos on, here's a little tip on buying your first real estate investment property, and kind of give a few quick things that you can do now to start saving money and to start getting there, and teach people how to wealth build, basically. And tie it all into real estate, because obviously then they'll want to buy, and then I have a real estate license, and I'll help you buy.
There you go. Educate them.
And
so I have a fun
person on their mind when they think about real estate.
There you go. I have a fun game for you, Chris, because you say you want to build your referral network, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I had a game that I was finding agents in other states, popular city, like if it was Hollywood, Beverly Hills, New York, Manhattan, and I was friend agents in those popular cities all over the map. And then I started in countries, Brazil, and it was fun because I was getting to communicate with agents.
Wow.
The thing about it is you do that, you reach out to them and you say, hey, when I have business, I would love to send business your way. Guess what they're going to say to you? They're going to say, hey, if I have business coming to you, Chris, in your state, I would love to send somebody to you. That's how you build your network, your referral network all over the country. Have fun. Get your
Thank
popular
you so
cities.
much. This
Get
is so
Miami.
amazing. Shout out to Premier Realty in Grove City. Thank
All right.
you.
Any other one action steps? One more person. Give me an action step in the next 48 hours that you're going to do.
Got one written down in here that's by Renee Deary.
Renee Deary.
Start making
No, I want to
calls.
hear. I want to hear Renee. I want to hear Renee. Renee,
Oh.
I see you. She unmuted. Nah.
Okay.
Come on,
good.
Renee. Tell me it. Tell me it.
So my one action will be to start making calls on my lunch break.
Awesome. How long is your lunch break?
About an hour.
Okay. How many calls do you want to make? How many? Let's not say calls. How many great conversations do you want to have?
Oh, I like that.
In an hour, I would think 3 conversations, 3 great
Okay.
conversations in an hour.
So when you got off lunch and you knew you had 3 great conversations, how are you going to feel about that?
I'm going to feel amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's not just make calls. Let's not just lead gen. Let's have some great conversations so you can feel good when you're done with that. Does
You're
that
right.
work for you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. So 3, I'm going to hold you to it, Renee. 3 great
Yes.
conversations in your lunch break. Anybody else? Okay. I'm going to let you go then. Toby. Nah, wait a minute. I like Toby. What's the one thing in 48 hours?
I've been doing so much stuff. I don't even know. I've got a little something up my sleeve, but I don't know if I'll get it done in 48 hours. I got a little something. I'm going to connect with you on Facebook is what I'm trying to do. I'm not patient. I'm waiting for you to find me. Like I can't find you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm friending you within 48 hours.
So Toby's in my office. Toby, I'm going to try to get Trey in one of our office meetings maybe, or just speak at our office.
I'll be there.
Yes.
I'm gonna be reaching out to him.
I'll come in person.
Toby, I did post
I'll come in person.
His profile in the chat box.
Oh, thank you.
I'll come in person. Let me know where it's at. All right.
Nice.
Anybody else? Leonard Miller, Megan Johnson. I'm just going to call people. I want one more person. Carmen Morales.
Great, you got me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can stop playing Monopoly.
Give me one thing. Come on. Give me something.
Take massive action. I want to connect with how many people I can within an hour. I know if I do any outreach, if that's social medias, if that's contact, I want to get in contact within that hour. Approximately 10, connect with 4, but have that passionate conversation like you said.
Good. So what I hear is that you're going to do 10, connect with 4, and have 4 great conversations. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Awesome. And what's going to be I'm going to put one more on you. Okay. I'm going to add additional. So out of those 4 conversations, out of those 4 great conversations, how many can you have a virtual Zoom call, coffee, or talk more to after that? Can you get 1 out of the 4?
Well, you got a challenge. Absolutely.
we have virtual. There's no reason now. Look at me. I'm in different states and everything, and we can virtually talk to each other. Hey, everybody, Guess what? There's more people. There's more people that's on virtual right now, and they want to have virtual interaction because they have less and no interaction. So even if you did a virtual coffee, hey, come on, let's have a virtual coffee and chit chat. That makes someone's day. So Elvis, I want you to go further. And with those 4 people, I want you to see if you can have a one-on-one with someone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got that date.
All right, everybody. It was a pleasure spending this time with you. I hope that you got value out of it. I look forward to chatting more with all of you. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And look
you.
me up, and if you have any questions, let me know. But I'll be checking on all of you. I got names now. I'm writing them down. I'm going to be watching you.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Happy
Good night.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night. Bye.